All right, Chuck, I think we're live. Let me mute us over here on YouTube. And wonderful, awesome. We are live, my friends.
Great.
All right, wonderful. So listen, friends, I want to take just a couple of quick seconds and introduce you to someone who is super important to Tina and I, and we are so grateful for him in our lives. And so we're just going to have a little chat here for a couple of seconds with someone who just means so much to me and has changed our life so much. I'd like to introduce you to my friend and my sponsor at EXP, but most importantly, my friend, Chuck Keller.
Hi, good to
Hi,
see you.
Chuck. Thank you for making the time. I know how busy everyone is, so thank you for making the time to chat with me here for just a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, Chuck, you're in California.
Mhm.
What
Right.
part? What part of California do you live?
Los Angeles and Palm Springs.
Okay. And so you and I had something in common before we joined EXP. So the thing that we had in common, I think, was Keller Williams, right?
Yes, it is.
So how many years were you with that brand, and what did you do there?
Yeah, so I was there 13 years total. And the last 3 years, I was the team leader, which, as you know, is another word for manager.
Right.
But if somebody's watching this and doesn't know what a team leader is, it's the manager of the office.
Right, right. So, and you know, as was I, right? And I had that whole team leader experience there as well. I look back on that and I think what an amazing experience and what a great learning ground. Do you think and feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a stepping stone, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Grateful, right, for all of that time and all of that energy and effort. And then again, so if we're going to stay in the mindset of gratitude, I want to just fast forward to I think it was a NAGLA a conference.
Yes, it was.
And so I was speaking, I think, at a NAGLA conference, and you were there, right? And
Right.
I believe you had a booth there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm there, and this was years ago at this point, right? I mean, how many years ago was this?
I think it was 3.
Maybe like 3 years ago, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It might even be 4. It might even be
It may be
4.
4. Yeah, it may be 4.
Yep. And so I was there, and I was doing my thing there. And after I spoke, I just remember you kind of coming to me and kind of saying, introducing yourself and kind of saying, you need to talk to me about this because this would be amazing for you.
Right.
And you know how when someone says something to you and you know you probably should listen, but your ear's not ready yet?
Yes.
My ear was not ready. Okay, my ear was not ready. And so fast forward 4 years later. Well, now it's been 4 years ago. So that would have been, because believe it or not, we're going on 2 years now that we've been with EXP.
Okay, so that was 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so it had been 2 years later, fast forward, I called you and said, okay, let's talk about it.
Right. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I remember the day I got that call. I was in Cape Cod, and I'm like, she's calling me. Wow,
So I appreciate you. I've never even had an opportunity to say this to you, but I appreciate you staying in touch with me. I appreciate you continuing to drip on me, like, send me the drip campaign, staying in touch with me,
Right.
Being consistent in your reach, right? And just being who you are. And that helped me to understand and know when I was ready to have the serious conversation that you were the guy that I needed to have that conversation with. Would you tell me how EXP has changed your life?
First of all, the word is wow, because there's there's just so much that it's done in so many ways, not just financially, obviously, but through relationships. Talk about gratitude. Most people measure success, I think, through financial things pretty much, until they reach a certain point in their life. And then
I was gonna say, yeah, then you turn that corner, and it's like, I don't know if that's the most important thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we'll start with the financial part of it. So, it's just a model that just gave so much more, and the way I always tell people is, I'm not, when I talk to them about it, I'm saying, I'm not asking you to make more sales to make more money. I'm just asking you to funnel your current existing business through a different model that will, provide so much more. If that's 20% more, 30% more, 50, whatever, or 100, depending on what levels you do with it, that's what it's going to do. And over time, that's going to add up to a lot, So, if you save 10% on something at a sale, like I was at Macy's yesterday buying a bunch of new house stuff, and it was, 40% off, and then another 20% off if you use your Macy's card, and another, something off if you did something else. And so while that may just be a little bit right there on that one purchase, but over time, anything just adds up. So for me financially with my partner, we have accumulated properties, and investment properties. We do vacation rentals is what we do. So it's fun. It's not like buying, a 4-unit or something and just seeing that check every month or whatever. So these are vacation rentals that are fun in fun places. So that's what it's done for us. Then it's provided a lot of just peace of mind, and being able to do things for other people, different ways, and reaching out and giving something that was unexpected, and just seeing somebody like, wow, where did that come from? Just out of the sky, and so to speak. So there's been that part of it, but then also, really more importantly are the relationships, like with you and Tina, and, and we haven't gotten to do a lot of one-on-one stuff because of COVID, obviously, but hopefully that's going to change.
Oh, that's going to change in just a few weeks, my friend. We're going to be right.
Exactly. So, there's that. And then, going places, and, all of our events are always got a lot of downtime for just having fun, whereas other conferences I would go to in the past would be 8 to 5, in a room, and then the evenings, something going on or whatever. And so the EXP events a lot of times are, like noon to 4 or something, so that have gone on. So, it's just a lot. There's just, I can't put a number on all of it.
How long have you been with EXP now?
It'll be 6 years in November.
6 years in November.
Yeah.
And within 6 years, you have approximately, give or take, because that number changes every day, but a little bit here and there. But how many people approximately do you have in your growth group?
1,401.
1,401 people.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I check it every day.
So today, 1,401.
Yes, today, 1,401.
Wonderful. And so these are all people, and I'm going to talk to you in a way that helps people understand this, that maybe don't understand it, right? So when I say your growth partners, these are all people that you invited, like myself, I'm one of your growth partners, that you invited into the opportunity to inquire whether or not this might be a great decision for them, right? And so these are your growth partners, right?
Right.
And I don't want you to give me the absolute number, but I want to help people with a reference point. I want them to understand. If you have 1,400 people in your, we call it revenue share line, but your growth partners, if you have 1,400 growth partners, what is a really, like, if you've had a month at EXP for revenue share, which is your residual income opportunity here, if you've had a just okay month, what have you earned in rev share with a group that size?
Well, without giving a number so that we don't
Right.
any
Yeah.
guidelines with everything. Let's just say that a normal month is well more than average of what an income earning person does in a year in the United States, for 1 month. And the great thing is it does continue to grow. It doesn't go down.
Right.
It's, it kind of like goes, like this, because it kind of catches up, because it's based definitely, on sales. And obviously the last year sales have been great for realtors, but let's face it, most realtors are not making what they could make if the inventory was there, right? Because in our market, we have 15 to 20 offers on a property, and that means 15 to 19 agents are not getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
So so while some agents are doing really well, on the flip side, it's a challenge for most of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what I'm saying is it's kind of going, it never goes down. It just kind of maybe plateaus for a month or two and then kicks up and goes another month or two.
Yeah.
It goes there. But we're talking, well high six figures for over a year, and probably another 6 months or so, then it'll be to the next one. That's seven figures,
Mhm.
And what I want to say is this is not me knowing all those 1401 people,
That was going to be my next question. Do you know every single last one of these people?
No, and I wish I did, because I'd love to really thank them and see what else I could do to help them, because I've done this for 21 years and managed 425 agents, like you did as a team leader, and you have so much experience. So I only know the ones that reach out and say, can I ask you something, or reach out in some way,
Yeah. So, again, I'm glad that we didn't get too into detail, because this is not why people come. People don't come because of this. No. But I have to tell you that as a coach and this is what you said to me the day that we met. You said, it's obvious to me that you have influence.
Right.
And this could be something so amazing for you. And again, ear wasn't working, right? But as a coach who spends my every day helping people to build, helping people to grow, and to realize their personal and professional goals, do you have any idea how much this business model has changed my life?
No. I mean, I do, only because of what it's done for me, but because what I want people to hear from this is that, we only have so many hours in a day, all of us. Exactly. And so much bandwidth, right? Because I have people calling me about different things, wanting me to do different projects or something. And I'm just like, I think it's a great idea, a great project. I just don't have the bandwidth to handle that right now. Maybe later at some point. So what I'm saying is that you just, it's just interesting that what this has happened because of everyone else's efforts. And just in my favorite quote, I have two favorite quotes. One is, I think it's Rockefeller. I have to look this up because I keep saying I think it's Rockefeller, back in the 20s, said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 men's efforts than 100% of my own effort.
Yes.
And I really saw that, especially during the pandemic when it first started, when in California, we were shut down completely, not allowed to show houses at all for about 4 or 6 weeks, right? And that was not the case all over the United States. So those agents that had come through my group, through other people, were still selling, and those checks kept coming in, when my sales checks weren't coming in, right? And so I have learned that what power there is in duplication through others through this program, and my other great quote that I love to live by is Warren Buffett. And he says, until you figure out a way to make money in your sleep, you're going to work until you die, Absolutely. And that's true, so whatever that is, there's a lot of different ways to make money, residuals and stuff, but but for me and you, this is what we do every day and have done for every day. And we know other people that do it every day. And we know other people that are not getting the most bang for the buck, is what I always like to say.
That's exactly right.
Because they're stuck in the model that they're in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that here's what I heard you say, and here's what I want to share. The blessing for me, the gratitude for me is that I didn't have to change who I was as a professional in order to open up this new layer of opportunity for my wife and I. I could still coach and train. I could still do the thing that I love to do and find a way to continue to help people and serve people, demonstrate servant leadership, and make money in my sleep.
Yes.
But understand and know that it's connected to other people's growth. So for me, that is absolute bliss. It is everything, right? And the fact that it continues to scale and grow is just mind blowing. And so yeah, just absolute gratitude. I have so many agents who are a part of my growth group, your growth group, my growth group, who have hit Icon recently and are so proud of it. So do you mind sharing what that accomplishment is within EXP so that everyone can understand?
Yes. So it's wonderful. And we just hit it. And when I say we, my business partner is Doug Rago. And so we're together on our business on everything. And so we just hit that recently. So what Icon is doing what we were already doing. It was just an award level, So at the previous brokerage, when you cap, I would hand out ball caps, right? And you would too. They said capper on the back. And we were proud to get that $29 cap. All of us.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Proudly. So that's a great first award to reach capping. And then on top of that, there we didn't have any kind of a real award program, maybe going to dinner quarterly or something like that. But all of us would reach those next levels and not get anything. So EXP basically came up with, Glenn Sanford came up with giving what's called the Icon Award. And so it varies basically depending on what kind of production someone does and whether they're a single agent or on a team, or it's all kinds of things. So, probably I would say in a minimum situation, it's probably about, 20 to 30 deals a year in some markets, mine particularly, but it could be a lot less because it's also based on GCI. So it could be even a few deals, could be even 10 deals. But anyway, so when you reach that award level, Icon, the company will give you up to $16,000 of stock in the company back to you to reward you for that effort. And part of that award doesn't include a cultural part of it, so that the Icon agent gives back in different ways, could be given back in teaching or things like that, which is simple, not very much required, but that's basically what it is. And so agents can get this every single year.
So let me ask you this: what's our cap at EXP?
Cap is only $16,000.
So what I think I hear you saying is that if they become an Icon agent, which could be, give or take, depending upon what their average sales price is, an additional 20 deals beyond their cap. If they become an Icon agent, they could receive their cap back in stock.
Yes, and it's not just 20 transactions on top of the cap. It could also be a referral, because it's based on a cap fee. So once they're 100%, there's a $250 cap fee that is taken out of every check. So that could be a referral. In my market, we also do leases. So it could be a lease as well. So it's not a really hard level to hit. It just takes focus and watching it and making sure, that you don't miss it by one transaction.
Exactly.
And so, and let me just share with you. So, for recent numbers, so just 2 months ago in June is when Doug and I hit the Icon Award. And since June, the $16,000 has grown about, I figured this up the other day, it's grown about between $7,000 and $8,000 more than it was.
Because of the stock value.
Yes, because of the stock value. So what I want to say is it's kind of like, if you're so fortunate to win the lottery, you can take that immediate payout number, or you can say, I'll wait and let it pay out over years. Or Social Security, you can take it once you get 65 or whatever, or you can, take it later and delay it. So some agents would say, oh no, give me a $16,000 check. Just write me a check right now for $16,000. That would not be the way to go, because since June, in 2 months, it's already made 50% of what it was worth, and who knows where to go from there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Every year. It's every year. So, Sherry, agents are selling all the time and getting a little of what they could, you know?
Yeah. Tripping over dollars, picking up nickels,
Yes.
Yeah. So I know and understand all of this. And it took me a minute to really get into it. And what I'll tell you is that I want to talk for a second about mindset, right? My mindset is what was keeping me hostage and keeping me from seeing this opportunity with clarity.
Right.
And so I'll share in transparency, I'm a coach that works across brands. Okay.
Right.
And my coaching roster used to be so much bigger because I had so many coaching clients just across so many different brands. Now I have a few that I just really value and I hold on to them tightly. And those are people that I'm in personal relationship with. And, we're so much more than just coach and client. We're friends. And I'll continue to hold those people close no matter what brand they're with. But so I say all that to say, I know that because I work across brands, that one size does not fit all. I get that. 100%. I get that. So, but my mindset when you originally started talking to me about this was, oh, what's going to happen if, and I said this to you, and I said, I was on the phone with you and Dave, and I said, what's going to happen if all of my coaching clients hear about me doing this, and then I lose my coaching clients, and then my coaching business, and I lose my coaching business. And mindset, lack versus abundance.
Right.
And then you said to me, in that moment, and I couldn't hear it then, I heard it eventually. I heard it enough because I moved forward. But I heard you say to me, Sherry, you don't understand. Like, the people who want to stay with you and who value what you do for a living in their lives, they'll stay. And the people who don't, they'll leave. But understand that you are going to replace that,
right,
3 or 4 times fold. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. And you say that, and people can't hear it until they feel it. I have to tell you, I'm so grateful to be there now. And we are, going up, we're coming up fast on 2 years. And my roster is very tight and closed with the people who are growth partners for me, and I support their growth and their development. And like I said, just a handful of people who actually still are in my roster for coaching that actually have the opportunity to pay me because I take care of my growth partners. And you were absolutely right. So I just wanted to share that with you. Mindset is so important. What do you think is some of the biggest mindset distractors that keep people from considering this idea and this reality?
Yes, I think the biggest one is they're comfortable, and a lot of times they're happy where they are, or they'll say, I'm good where I am. Well. And I always say, okay, well, there's good and there's great. What would make it great?
Yeah.
But it was kind of like many years ago when I left where I was to go to the first company for the CAP, and I just said, oh, I love my manager, and I did. I was so she was so. We were from the same area, even though we were both in Beverly Hills, and. And Craig, my partner, said, he said, she doesn't pay your bills, and she'll still be your friend no matter where you are,
Right.
And so I actually said, okay, I'm going to ask several of my clients, and I asked 4 or 5 clients, would you still work with me if I wasn't at the number one company, in the number one office in the world at the time? And I went to a new name company that's coming into town. So, and they all said, yes, absolutely. We work with you. And so,
Because you're the brand. Because you're the brand.
Yeah. And they know, like, and trust you, the agent.
Yeah.
And so that was a big one for a lot of people, is they love their manager or their broker. But I just really urge them to think, does that manager or broker write the checks for their monthly checks every month? And are they helping themselves, increase their financial portfolio at the end of the year, or 5-year period, or 10-year period, or are they helping that manager, broker, and company? So that's one. Another one is, some people will, because we're a virtual company, they think automatically they have to be virtual. No, you could go out and get your own office if you want one, just like you do. Yeah. And here's the great thing is, if someone does like to be in an office, go to a Regus, which we have discounts at, or WeWork, or whatever, because you're now going to be around a bunch of entrepreneurs who could become your clients. So if you got an office at your real estate office, you're around your competitors. You're not going to make any sales there, so that's a great, way to overcome that. And then other people will just say, I'm comfortable, where I am. And boy, sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to really jump through hurdles that will take you through big leaps of success, whatever you define that with,
I know. You know what? I'm going to tell you. I really do believe, I want this for everybody, but I believe it's not for everybody, because people who haven't decided that they're worthy of this level of explosive happiness and wealth, they're not ready. So you can't talk them into it, right? If they're like, look, I'm comfortable, and I qualify it with, you're comfortable with your income, you're comfortable with your growth, you're comfortable with how you're pouring into your family, and you're the people that you love, you're comfortable, you don't need anymore, is what I hear you saying, right? And if they go, yeah, I'm comfortable, okay, great, well then this makes no sense, if this is where you are, right? So I agree. I think that the whole comfort piece, and as a coach, that's what this is all about. I create discomfort in people's lives. They hire me to make them uncomfortable, but it's because they know that they're ready for next level growth.
And you know what? When you go on an interview, they always ask you your strengths and weaknesses. My weakness, and it's very strong, my weakness is just what you kind of said, is I want more for people than they want for themselves. And that is, I struggle with that, because I'm just thinking, you could have so much more, and as I always say, I'm not asking you to do more sales to make more money. I'm asking you to just run it through a different business model, and it really amazes me. And I'll say this to some people, you drive all over town or whatever to see how much gas is, to save pennies, $1 or $2 per tank times 52 weeks of the year, to save $500-600 or something, but yet you won't really consider something that will change thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing the same thing, just putting a different name on your contracts, because you're still the agent, you're still using the same escrow, title company, whatever, zip forms, DocuSign, all of that, but and then you shop at like Costco or whatever to save money there, but you blow it all over here, where you could be really maximizing it,
Yeah, I do know. We're stretched out across the world here, or, across the states, you and I. You're in California, right? And I'm here in Michigan.
Right.
We just extended out to Tennessee, and we have an agent in Tennessee now. My sister is getting her license. She's in Georgia. And she's excited to build down there, and we have an agent in Alabama, and so we are doing Swift Southern, and we're excited about extending out the collaboration in that direction. You have people everywhere now, right?
Yeah, and I really need, Dave Gagnon, my sponsor, sent me a map, and I should take time and put dots all over the states where we are.
Yes.
Because it's really exciting, because it is all over, predominantly Michigan is your group, and but all the states, pretty much, I'd say we're probably in, my group probably is in 35 of them, I would say.
Wow.
And a
Yeah.
few countries, Canada for sure, Australia. You just never know where it's going to go. That's what people don't understand. They don't understand that, you may not know someone in, another state or something, but someone else does, right? And it just expands all over. And I've got a lot of group in Florida, but not because I started there, because it went from my buddy in Little Rock to his buddy in Michigan down to Florida and all around. It's just unbelievable where it goes, and there's no stopping it. That's the fun part, is you can't stop it.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly.
And it grows to the extent that you want it to. And of course, we're talking about rev share, but I want every agent to know that maybe watching this, if you don't want to have rev share, if you don't want to talk to another agent about the company, that's fine. Just take advantage of a lower cap, lower fees, and stock opportunities that you don't have. And you know what, Sherry, I've learned over the few years how many agents don't even have any kind of retirement, don't even have an IRA. And, because when I'm talking with agents, I'll say, do you have any stock? No. And so I'm thinking, okay, in my IRA, I buy and trade stock all the time for fun, because there's no tax consequences, immediately for selling it. So, I'm thinking, okay, now they kind of told me that maybe don't have any kind of retirement, and that's really scary, because as realtors, we don't have any retirement unless we set it up for ourselves. And owning your property, that's great for an asset, but that's just the one thing. That's not going to pay the bills, and you got bills to pay on that with taxes and insurance and everything else.
That's right.
And so it really concerns me that agents just don't think long term. They're only thinking the short term, because that's our sales personality kind of, And I was talking to someone the other day about their taxes. It was a newer agent. And I said, put all your business expenses on one credit card. And he said, I'm going to start that January 1. I said, start it tomorrow.
Start it today. Yeah.
Yeah, today. Exactly. Because, that's another 4 or 5 months, to be in on it. But we think like later doing things, and later just turns into later, and so on. And
salespeople in general, right? This is the coach in me coming out, right? But salespeople in general have amazing personalities. They are just the light in any room, and they have the ability to connect with just about anybody and everyone. And they are a joy to be around. But then if you ask them to scale something out, they are probably going to look at you like what?
Yes.
What are you asking me to do? So that's the challenge, right? So that's one of the things that I appreciate so much about EXP is the fact that Glenn said, if you'll just bring us your business, we're going to have a model that's going to help you to eliminate your shortcomings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not asking you to become another person. I'm not saying all of a sudden I want you to become this person that you're not, because I understand that that's going to shift you a little bit away from yourself. And right. you might need to focus on some other things, and maybe you think it's going to take away from what you have and what you're reflecting. But we're saying, like you said, I love that. If you just don't do more, just do the same and write it here and watch what happens. It's really just a bonus for just being who you are. So as a coach, I have watched way too many agents, and that's my shortcoming. I can't stand watching people who have built 15, 20-year businesses, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years. They've been selling real estate for 40 plus years. And then all of a sudden one day they just decide, just like it's this mouse, they're going to sit it down and walk away from it. Like, oh, okay, I'm done selling real estate now. See you later, bye. It's like, oh my God, what? No, this is an entire business. Don't walk away from this opportunity. We have to scale this so that you can continue to earn income from this. You need to retire. You deserve to retire the same way every other industry does.
Right. Yes, exactly. And speaking of that, our company just announced that we're going to get a dividend on our stock. and that, I've said to some people, some agents, I said, how many dividends do you get? And everybody's like, I don't get one. Well, we're going to get one, and
Yeah.
so, and it doesn't matter if it's a little bit or somewhat or a lot, it's more than you were getting,
Exactly.
and that's what I just want everybody to realize is just maximize what you're already doing. That's key. It's not doing anything different as far as increasing sales. Because, with coaching, a lot of the goals are always, okay, how many more deals are you going to do this year? How many more, always. And it doesn't have to be that. It could be, how much more time are you going to get to spend with your family or just yourself or, whatever, and still do the same amount. And that's a success within itself.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. In the coaching conversations that I have, and I understand I've been coaching for over 20 years. So, I'm not coaching brand new people too much. The conversations that I'm having with mega agents and with teams, it's all about scaling, and it's all about how do you get more of your life back without having to give more of your life away. So let's talk about quality of time and exposing that opportunity, right? And so that's really what we're talking about here is, I just need more with at least the same amount invested or maybe a little less.
Yes.
So that I can live life.
Yeah. And another question I ask agents is, if you left your brand today, what do you take with you to the next one?
Yeah.
And the answer always is my book of business, my signs, but at EXP, you have your stock, that you've gotten through awards that you're going to get regardless the awards. And then you can opt, it's totally optional, to take 5% of your commission to buy stock at a 10% discount.
Yes.
And what's funny is a lot of agents, if they work for a company that is a franchise name, and we all know who those franchises are, they take a minimum of 4 to 6% on top of the commission split, for franchise royalty fee, and you get nothing for that, and it always interests me when I talk with agents and say, what is your split? And they'll say 80-20, and I'll say, what about your franchise royalty fee? What? That other part that comes out of that comes out of every transaction. Yeah, well, what percent is it?
Yeah.
For certain companies, it's 6%. Yeah. Well, your split's not 80-20, it's 74.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right. Exactly. Just got to help people to understand it a little bit. What I'll say in kind of wrapping this, when we talk about what our challenges are, I think one of the challenges that I face when we're having conversations with people to identify whether or not we're a good match for one another is they a lot of times they hear it and it makes perfect sense. And they recognize, oh my gosh, this could change my life. This could change my family's life. This is 100% the opportunity that I need to lean into. It makes perfect sense. And then they go back to their now broker, and they give them something for free. They give them a discount. They take the charge off their office, or they do something, and that's the thing that drives me crazy is I think, listen, take the shackles off. That is short-term thinking. That is short-term thinking. Let's think a little bit longer down the road here. We're not asking for a one-year fix. Right. I want to change your world. I want to change your life. This is not a discount that's going to impact the way you feel about this person right now. I want to change your life, Right.
Yeah.
You bump into that out there?
Oh yeah. And I will always say, and I'll tell people after I've, talked with them and we're about to make that decision, I'll say, no, this is the conversation, how it's going to go. I've been on the other side of the table.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, they're going to start giving, and offering things. And I just want you to realize that in your mind, you should be saying to yourself, why did it take me coming and tell you I'm leaving for you to give this to me? Yeah.
Exactly.
And what they're giving is really pennies on the dollar compared to what I'm telling you you're going to get. But sadly, sometimes people are in the situation that they need those few dollars at that point, and they go ahead and take it and stay. And, and you and I were thinking long term,
Yeah.
But but yeah, I've seen that happen. I've seen companies match the cap down to 16. And
Yeah.
in some companies that took, money, profit right out of an office that would be going to other agents,
Right. Exactly right.
And,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
so, that manager is playing with other agents' money.
Other people's money. That's
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and,
That's
and
right.
so it's just interesting though, but agents, we know the disc profile you and I do so well, and agents are that strong D and strong I. They're not the S or the C, which in that conversation they need to be thinking more S and C, right?
That's absolutely right.
That's a whole nother class.
It's a whole nother conversation. It's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
I am so excited to see you. I have not seen you in almost 2 years now. And so I am so excited to see you in another month at the EXP Con, and grateful for the opportunity to hug your neck and just to be together. So looking forward to that, my friend. And I am grateful. I'm grateful for you reaching. I'm grateful for your patience. And for people who are watching this right now that are already EXP, and you have people that you love and you care about, and you're trying to expose them to this opportunity, and they're moving slow, I need you to know I moved slow. And so sometimes you're having conversations with people that take a little while because people get there when they get there. But I just want to thank you for being so patient and for being so persistent, and for changing Tina and our life, because it has changed our life. And I just know that in 2 more years, I'm gonna be, I don't know, we'll have this conversation again, except I won't be able to keep it together enough to be able to have the conversation because things will have changed that much, right? So I'm just so grateful for you. And thank you.
Well, we're grateful for you too, because it is a two-way street. It's people helping people. And, I think as Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Exactly right.
That's what it is. And it starts with one. That's what everybody needs to realize. It starts with one. It grows and it goes to 2. It's kind of like the other thing I always loved for many years is the doubling of a penny. And people don't know what that is. Just Google that, double a penny every day for a month, and how much 1 cent will turn into a huge amount at the end of 30 days. It's the same concept. You just got to start. You got to take the first step.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful that here in my little tiny corner of the world, it started with me, and 100 and some odd agents, closer to 2 than to 1 at this point. We are just stretching out and growing within the Swift collaboration, and so many collectives and collaborations and groups and teams and individuals under me are just growing and exploding and just leveraging this opportunity to its fullest. So thank you.
We're changing lives. That's what we're doing.
Yes, we are. And it feels amazing. And that I get to be rewarded for doing that is almost unbelievable. Thank you for making the time to chat with me today. I know we're super busy. I can't wait to come see that house that you're working on. And I will see you in just a few weeks.
Okay, we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hi to Tina.